Greetings, my fellow no, that's Obama. Um, Hello there. How does Abraham Lincoln sound? Hello, everyone. It is I, Abraham Lincoln. As you can see in my 100% completely accurate costume cosplay attire that I have put on for this occasion. Fourscore and a couple years ago, in 2012, a movie, a documentary, a retelling, if you will, of my life was released. And I today am talking about that movie. I'm also going to take this off because it's going to get hot really quick. If you haven't noticed, I'm in the closet. I'm back in the closet. We're back in the closet. I'll leave the beard. There are a lot of good presidents. There are, if you don't know, if you don't know about Abraham Lincoln, if you don't know about the U.S. presidents, you're probably not American, or you're not smart and didn't pay attention in history class, which is your fault. Well, it's your fault for not paying attention in history class. If you're not American, that's not your fault. You can't control that. I mean, you kind of can. Not you can't control where you're born. Anyway, if you don't know about Abraham Lincoln or about the U.S. presidents, let me tell you about some of the them. Let me tell you about some of them. Let me tell you about some of the good ones. We have George Washington, the first president. Maybe some might say the best president. He started America. He built this. He had wooden teeth. He don't ask about his slaves. Don't ask about that. I don't know a lot about that, but don't ask about them. We have Bill Clinton. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. We have George Bush, who ah hold on. We have Obama soda. You get the idea. We Let me move this again. We have a lot of good presidents. We have some that actually did a lot of good and nobody knows about. Or not that nobody knows about, but nobody talks about. We have Watergate shed and oh shit. How the fuck how did I forget JFK? He My favorite president though is Abraham Lincoln. He freed the slaves. That was pretty cool. No more slaves. You guys can't have slaves. Yet no more free labor. You got to pay people now. He made Emancipation Proclamation, which that just sounds hard. That just sounds cool. And it is. It is very cool. And he fought vampires. Now, this is a fact that you might not know. It is so weird hearing my voice in. I also have a microphone set up. We're in the closet, but I also have a microphone set up now. So it's going to take me a bit to get used to hearing myself. But Abraham Lincoln also fought vampires. Now, I wanted to know why they didn't tell us this in history class, but I remember like they never told us about Napoleon Bonaparte. And growing up, I thought he was short. I thought he was like the 5'4" or something. I thought he was, a wee little lad. But apparently no, he was like just kind of normal height. Like I think he was like maybe 5'8" or something, maybe even taller a little bit, which I mean, yeah, it's like shorter than most men nowadays, but I think back then that was like kind of a normal height. And apparently, he was like a super great general for France. Like he put in work for France. Now, the documentary that I am talking about today is Abraham Lincoln, the Vampire Hunter. This movie was released in 2012, and I saw it around the time when it came out. I remember going to a red box outside of like an Albertsons and getting my mom to get me that movie so I could watch it for a night. And I don't remember fucking any of it. I remember absolutely none of it. So, when I watched it a couple weeks ago with a friend, I was in for a very pleasant surprise when I watched this movie and realized this is actually a pretty good movie. Like, this is, it does a good job of telling everything in a historical manner. Granted, they have some things that like they changed up because it's a movie. They're going to change stuff. They always change stuff. They can never just leave it one to one. So there are some inaccuracies, but for the most part, they keep it all, according to the history books, if you will. A fact you might not have known about this movie, this was screened to sailors who were on the USS Abraham Lincoln while they were refueling in Virginia. I think the soldiers were coming back to refuel because they were fighting in the Middle East somewhere. So that's kind of funny to think about that, like, they're over in Iran or Iraq or Afghanistan or any other fucking place. Jesus Christ, dog. Ugh. Anyways, I'm not talking about the Middle East. They were over there fighting somewhere. They come back to refuel. You got to get stuff. You got to repair the ship. You got to do whatever. And they're like, hey, you guys want to see a movie? If I was on that ship and they told me, you're going to watch a movie called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, dog, for sure. I've been stuck on this ship for fucking months. You know I'm down to watch a fucking movie, especially, dog, on a ship. There's not a whole lot you can do, especially in the year 2012. They don't have fucking Netflix or any of that, dog. They're just stuck on there. Another fact about that specifically, this was the first time that a major motion picture debuted for US service members, which I just think is what? Huh? How is Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter the first movie that debuted to service members? Like, we've had shit like Dunkirk. I can't think of any other war movies, but all the war movies, all the patriot movies, how did none of them think to be like, hey, we should show this to service members and see what they think. We should show this to dudes in the army, to whoever else. I mean, especially if you're making a movie like about what they've been through, you would think like, let's go and basically just let them watch it for free. But no, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter was the first movie to do that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Another funny fact about this movie, it came out the same year as the biographical historical drama titled Lincoln. Vampire Hunter was released on June 22nd, 2012, whereas Lincoln premiered on October 8th, 2012. So Vampire Hunter came about 4 months before Lincoln. And while one of them may have done better at the box office than the other, I think you and I both know which one is the better movie. Like, I don't even have to describe the movie to you. You don't even have to see them. You can just from the titles, you know which one is better. I mean, just look at the covers here. You know which one is better. There was also a comedy horror movie, like a spoof scary movie type movie that came out called Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies that was released before Vampire Hunter on May 29th, which after making this video, I definitely got to watch that now. I haven't heard of that, but I'm definitely going to check it out now. So I'll let you guys know what I think about that movie. I'll let you know if it's worth watching. Getting into the movie itself, like I said, this was actually a really good movie. Like I genuinely enjoyed watching it. This movie is an hour and 45 minutes. So there was a part like halfway through where I was like, shouldn't this movie be kind of wrapping up by now? And I was still like halfway through. But I'd also been drinking when I was watching the movie, so take that as you will. I wasn't drinking heavy. My stomach wasn't feeling too well, but I was still at a little bit. But with that, there aren't any points throughout this movie where it's like a slog or it's really boring. Like the most boring part of this movie is just the beginning, and that's just because it starts off with Abraham Lincoln as a little kid and describes how he gets into the position that he goes into. And so, of course, it's going to be slow because there's no vampire killing or anything at the beginning. Thinking about it now too, there's not really a whole lot of like super cool action scenes. There are some, but there's also like a lot of just like talking in the movie, but it still does a good job of like telling you the story and guiding you through what's happening and keeping you invested and entertained while you're watching it. So it's not just, oh, these people are boring having another talking for 5-10 minutes, talking about stupid stuff that I don't care about, like I might be doing right now. They do a good job of keeping you invested. I'm trying not to make this video 30 minutes long and just rant a bunch like I've been kind of doing with some of my videos. So I'm just going to go over some quick talking points about this movie. First off, Henry, the dude who introduces Abraham Lincoln into killing vampires, tells Abe, you can't have any friends, you can't have family, because they're going to get killed. It's dangerous, something's going to happen. And Abraham Lincoln just fucking ignores that. Like, at first he kind of tries, and then he's like, fuck it. They'll be okay. Or he might just not even care. I mean, he has his friend. He has his friend Speedball, Speedwagon, that he meets while he's working at a shop. He's kind of cool. He's just chill. He starts off as his boss, and then they become friends later on in the movie. So he's cool. He has his friend William, who we see at the very beginning of the movie, and William's been his boy. William has been friends with him since he was a kid. Like, William is William is kind of the reason that Abraham Lincoln's mom died, because the vampire evil dude in the beginning is thinking that William is a slave, so he's trying to take him. And then Abe is like, nah, fuck you, that's my friend. And he goes and fights back, but they're little kids, so they don't do shit. And then Abraham Lincoln's dad steps in and he's like, hey, listen, they're just kids. Dude, just don't be rash. And then Lincoln's mom dies, so it's not exactly William's fault, but it kind of is, just a little bit. But anyways, William and Abraham Lincoln, they go way back. They've been friends forever, so of course he's got to stay chill with William. And for the love interest, we have Mary, who is played by, I gotta look up her name. Mary is played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who, if you're like me, you might remember her from Sky High. Oh man, do I remember her in Sky High. Sky High came out in 2005. I know for a fact I didn't watch it for a while until after it came out. I probably saw it when I was like 8, 9, 10. I have no idea. But I know her. I definitely remember her. What I did not know, though, is she also plays Ramona in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And I just found that out just a little bit ago. Put a purple wig on Mary, and I will not be able to recognize her, apparently. I had no idea that it was her. Ramona looked familiar. I felt like I knew who she was, but I didn't realize it was Sky High chick. And I feel kind of fucking stupid for not noticing that now. Speaking of another stupid moment, she was also in 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I love that movie. And again, I I knew the actor, I recognized her, but I never put the pieces together that 10 Cloverfield Lane is Ramona, who is also Sky High Girl. I'm I don't know. I guess I'm bad at making connections or some shit. I don't know. But let me tell you, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, whether she's playing Sky High Girl, whether she's playing Ramona, whether she's playing 10 Cloverfield Lane Girl, whether she's playing Abraham Lincoln's wife, all of them, very, 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 very attractive. She is a very attractive. She is, God damn, she's hot. She is a very attractive woman. Like, man, holy shit. Like, seriously, she is really hot. Oh, god damn. I really have the hots for her. I have a lot of Hollywood celebrity crushes. She is like very high up on the list, dog. Anyways, the point of me saying all that is I do not blame Abraham Lincoln at all for wanting to be with her, especially dog. Mary is coming on to Abe. She wants Abe. And dog, Lord have mercy, I would have fallen too. I do not blame Abe. 100%, I would have done the same. Oh Lord. Yeah, I don't blame Abe. A scene that was really cool in this movie that I'll talk about is when Abraham Lincoln becomes president, the vampires go and attack his son and bite him. So now his son ain't around no more. And Abraham Lincoln, he has this badass moment. Mary is like, "Oh, what happened? What kind of disease is this? Something, something. What are we gonna do?" And Abraham Lincoln just, he knows, stone cold. I know what this is. And then he has this badass John Wick coming out of retirement moment. He opens up the briefcase and gets the axe. He starts twirling it around again. He's a little bit rusty, but he starts practicing. He had a John Wick moment before John Wick even came out. John Wick had an Abraham Lincoln moment when he came out of retirement. Now, as cool as that sounds, I do have some complaints about the movie. The first complaint, Henry, the man who introduced Abe to fighting vampires, it's revealed he is a vampire. Whoa, what a big shocker. Yeah, I know. It makes sense. You should have seen it coming. When Abe finds out that Henry is a vampire, he immediately goes into kill mode. Like, Abe comes up, sees Henry like biting a dude and drinking his blood, vampire type shit, and he instantly vampire, 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 kill, kill, kill. Like, jeez, man, let him talk for a sec. He does let him talk, but it's like, damn, man, give him a sec. Let him tell his side of the story. That's not that big of a complaint. It's just Abe could have chilled for a bit, but it's also like Abe's whole thing has been killing vampires. And now he finds out this dude who he's been talking to, who he's been training with to kill vampires, is a vampire. So it's like, I can kind of see why you'd be pissed. Speaking of pissed, Abe gets so mad finding out that Henry is a vampire that he quits vampire hunting. But then the big vampires, the main vampire, Adam, and then all of his crew, they go and kidnap Lincoln. Speedwagon and William come in to rescue Lincoln, and so they get him out of there. They save him, they rescue him. And then the vampires don't do anything. They don't chase after him. They don't go and look for him afterwards. They just, oh, guess he got away. Oh well. And then they just go back to doing whatever for years. It doesn't say in the movie what age Lincoln is throughout any of the movie. So by guessing, I would say Lincoln is probably like in his 20s when this happens. And then the next time that like the vampires do anything to him is when he gets elected for president. Like he becomes president, and then they're like, "Oh, that guy. Yeah, we probably should have done something about that. Yeah, I guess we. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, we got to do something now, dog. It has been probably like 20 years, maybe 30 years. Like there is a very noticeable change. Like I said, he was probably like 20 something when he got captured. He is now like 40, 50 years old. Like, dog, you let him go for a long time. And it's not like it was just like, oh, well, I don't know. He learned his lesson. He's not going to do it again. I mean, he kind of didn't do it again for a while because he didn't keep killing vampires. So maybe they just thought, oh well, we scared him. We don't have to worry about him anymore. He's scared now. He knows not to fuck with us. Nope. But even like before Lincoln becomes president, like he is running on abolishing slavery, which the vampires like slavery because they use slavery as just cattle, free food. They just, free slaves means free blood, free meat, free whatever. So the vampires like the slaves. They don't want to get rid of them. And then Abraham Lincoln, this dude who they already know about, they already know, they've already fucked with him before. He is running on abolishing slavery, on getting rid of it, and they still don't do anything to him. They just leave him alone until he becomes president. The last complaint that I have is Speedwagon is shown in the movie talking to some of the vampires near the end, and it's like, oh, Mr. Speedwagon is betraying Abraham Lincoln. So something crazy is going to happen. And while they're on a train at the very end of the movie, Henry even comes up to Lincoln and is like, "Hey, Speedwagon he's betraying you. He's talking to the enemy vampires. He's on the other side." And the whole thing is like Speedwagon was telling the vampires, yeah, they're getting all their silver together so they can give it to the soldiers in the Civil War so that they have a way to fight back against the vampires on the South. And Speedwagon tells the vampires that all the silver is going to be on this train that they are on. And then it's revealed, nope, dumbass, just a bunch of fucking rocks. Suck my balls. Get fucked. Dum dum. You got tricked. Haha. Got your ass. But it's like, okay. Hell yeah. Speedwagon didn't betray Lincoln. But why did Henry tell Lincoln that Speedwagon was betraying him if Lincoln knew? And I assume Speedwagon probably knew too. My bad, Henry. Unless Henry didn't know that Lincoln knew what Speedwagon was doing, why did he tell him? Because either, like, I understand it for the plot of the movie and, like, for the movie itself, but it's like, that just kind of makes either Henry look stupid or just out of the picture, like he doesn't know what's going on, or it's just Henry saying shit that everyone already knows for who knows why. That's all I got though. Other than those things, I genuinely did think this was a good movie. If I was gonna rate it, I'd probably give it maybe a 7 out of 10. 7.5 maybe. I could be swayed to an 8. Don't come into this movie looking for super great action scenes. Oh, don't come in looking for good CGI too, because the CGI does not hold up. It's used pretty sparingly, but there is a scene where Abraham Lincoln is fighting a vampire on like a horse stampede, and all the horses are CGI, and it is so bad, dog. It doesn't hold up at all. So don't come in for a lot of action scenes. There are action scenes, but it's not a whole lot in the movie. It's just a couple sections. Don't come in for good CGI, because there's none of that here. Don't come in for a super great story. Don't come for a Scarface. What's the Godfather. Don't come in for something like super good, a really good story that's gonna like sweep you off your feet and get you super invested. This is a movie you just put it on and you just have a good time. You watch it with the boys, you crack a couple beers open, you're drinking, you're chilling, you're just watching it and having a good time. That's all it is. And with that, go check it out if you haven't seen it. Go hunt vampires. Slavery is bad. Emancipation Proclamation is cool. I did not have sexual relations with that. That was more kind of Forrest Gump. Jenny, he killed the vampire, Jenny. I'm gonna end the video here.